Struggling to find the perfect holiday gift for the gardener in your life? Well, stick around because I have rounded up the most unique, practical, and downright delightful gift ideas that every green thumb will adore. Got my tea. I'm ready to talk holiday gifting. Okay, so the first category of gifts that would be great for gardeners would be practical things. You could think of tools that they might need, or even ask them, is there something specific that you need for your garden? Something like maybe a specific set of pruners that they need, or a shovel. Maybe there's specialty digging tools that they need, or perhaps they'd be interested in a gardening square if they'd like to try out the square foot gardening method. And the best thing about getting someone garden tools as a gift is that you can do this really inexpensively by looking at thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales, and other options for buying secondhand, because most tools are built to last a lifetime and they can be used by many, many generations of gardeners before they need to be replaced. So before you head over to your big box online or in-person stores, check out your local marketplace, estate sales, thrift sales for sources of good garden tools. Another great, really practical gift for gardeners, especially vegetable garden growers, are seed starting supplies. You got some really high quality seed starting cells or seed starting trays like these ones that I purchased from Epic Gardening. They're not the squishy, soft plastic ones that break and fall apart after a season, but these are really durable, high quality seed trays that can be used season after season and would make the perfect gift for a gardener who maybe wouldn't want to splurge on something like this for themselves, but would really appreciate having something nice like this when they're ready for seed starting in the winter and early spring. Other things that go along with practical items like seed starting cells, trays, also grow lights. Grow lights can be really expensive, so if you know of a gardener who is starting some seeds indoors, buying them some grow lights or trays or a shelf to grow their seedlings on would really help them to get started or level up in their gardening journey. Similarly, and this can range from the most inexpensive to the most fancy, is some sort of greenhouse, portable greenhouse, hoop house to either put over a raised bed or to set up in an area outside of your house where you could help to transition your seedlings outdoors. So typically when gardeners start their seedlings indoors, they have to work over the course of several weeks transitioning them to being ready for being outside in the bright sunlight. Something that eases that transition is if there is a space with slight shelter, like a little mini greenhouse, where they can put their seedlings while they're waiting or while they're getting them ready for their full debut into the garden. So something small, like one of those plastic covers that goes over a raised bed, or something more elaborate. I know that they sell little plastic greenhouses that you can put together from the most simple to the most extravagant. There's a lot of options in the greenhouse or mini greenhouse space that could be really beneficial to a gardener. So the next category of amazing gifts that gardeners in your life will love would be education or experience gifts. Not all gifts have to be a physical item that you can hold, although there are many things such as books about different types of gardening, different methods, different philosophies. So a book about gardening might be something really valuable. Perhaps you could find a book that would teach them more about a specific area of gardening that they're really passionate about or trying to learn more about. Or perhaps you could purchase a class or a workshop for something related to gardening. So perhaps a class on canning or food preservation. Or for the flower gardeners in your life, maybe something like flower arranging or wreath making. All of these would be really great gifts for someone who loves plants and loves the garden to take their skills and broaden them a little bit more, learn another skill in the garden that would be something fun that you could even do together. So So the next category, or the third category of amazing gifts for gardeners, would be plants. I can't overstate how much someone who loves plants and loves gardening would love receiving a plant as a gift. You could buy them a favorite plant that you know that they've been eyeing, or you could dig up a section, divide one of your plants from your yard, or take a cutting of one of the plants from your yard and propagate it and give that to them as a gift. So there's options for every range of the budget and skill level. So if you know nothing about plants, but you know that they like a specific type of plant, maybe head to your garden center, try and buy them that plant variety. Or if you're a gardener yourself that has the skills of knowing how to divide and propagate plants, perhaps you could propagate a plant from your yard that you think that the person in your life that you're gifting to might enjoy, and you can give them a rooted cutting or a divided section of a plant that they can plant into their yard. If you're planning to go the route of propagating a plant, now would be a great time to get started on that project so that it can have a little bit more of established roots by the time you're gifting it to them. Alternatively, if you aren't as savvy with plant propagation, perhaps you could collect some seeds from wildflowers in your yard. Or you could gift seeds from your veggie garden. Did you have a specific fruit or veggie in your garden that was so successful that absolutely everyone loved? Try saving the seeds from your best crops of the year, and you could dry out and gift some of those seeds on to a new gardener in your life. I'm sure they would appreciate having the gift of not just seeds to plant in their garden, but something that is specifically from you. So from your garden to their garden would make a really nice heartfelt gift. And if you are not much of a gardener and it seems a little bit intimidating, think about propagating or saving your own seeds in order to gift them. You could also purchase seeds, or you could also order a seed catalog from a seed company and gift them a gift card to that seed company so that they can choose whatever seeds that they need for next year's garden. I especially love this idea of the seed catalog and gift certificate combo because sometimes just the act of flipping through a beautiful seed catalog can get you so excited and happy for the upcoming gardening season. So I think that giving someone a seed catalog, even though they're free, so this could be a very cheap gift if you didn't have a lot to spend, gifting a seed catalog that you got for free and maybe a small gift card or a packet or two of seeds could be a really great gift that would help inspire them for next year's garden. Category 4, this is the fun stuff. These are the decorative items. So if the gardener in your life seems to already have all of the tools and supplies and seeds that they could ever want, think about gifting them something to help add beauty to the garden. You could think about doing something like a garden archway or garden trellis. Having more beautiful things to trellis our fruit and veggie plants on, or beautiful vining flowers on, is always welcomed. As well as you could think about gifting some garden decor. I've seen in garden centers the most beautiful little sculptures or bird baths or those shiny globes that sort of reflect light. Any of those sorts of things are something that are not really a garden necessity. They're more like a nice to have thing. So they might be something that the gardener in your life maybe wouldn't buy for themselves. Maybe they would think it's a little bit too extravagant to buy something that's just decoration or just beauty in the garden. But as gardeners, we also enjoy things that are beautiful. That's part of why we love to grow. So giving them something, just a decor piece that they could add into their garden and make it a little bit more beautiful and more enjoyable for them to be in whenever they're outside, would also be an amazing gift to give. In the spirit of beautiful things, there are also amazing painted, handcrafted pots that you could give. So a beautiful terracotta pot is always a nice gift. Even a plain terracotta pot is a great gift to give someone who loves to garden. But you can either do the more fancy version where you purchase something at a garden center that's got beautiful painting or artwork on it, Or you could go more DIY. You could purchase a plain terracotta pot and paint it and glaze it yourself so that they have something that is a piece of you and your original artwork that they could have in their garden. Next, let's talk about apparel. The last category of really unique, fun, and special gifts for gardeners that I think you should consider is apparel. Many times we think of gardening as the time to put on our dirtiest, ugliest clothes that we aren't wearing anywhere else in the rest of our lives anymore because, well, it's just gonna get dirty. But just because we're outdoors doesn't mean we can't have something that we feel really good about wearing, or that could be really functional and help us in the garden. So you could think of the more simple things like some nice garden gloves or some nice garden boots to keep your feet dry on those mucky, rainy days out in the garden. You could also think about clothing like shirts with UV or bug protection in the fabric. That would be a really great thing to have on those summer days where it's super hot and buggy out, to help protect you so that you're not getting sunburn or bug bites or other things while you're out in the garden. Similarly, having some nice overalls, shorts that they could wear in the garden would also be a really great gift. Something that has nice pockets or a durable fabric that can stand up to lots of washing and wearing and getting dirty outside. Having things like that, that's your dedicated garden clothes that aren't just your beat up old clothes, but that are like clothes that you actually feel good about wearing and feel excited about wearing when you go out into the garden, would be a fun and exciting gift that you might not always think to buy for yourself, but would be so welcomed to receive. And lastly, you also want to think about being outside on those not so pleasant days. So perhaps the gardener in your life needs some outerwear. Maybe they need a nice warm coat for the winter or a raincoat for those rainy spring days when it's pouring down outside, so that they can get outside no matter what the weather and still have an amazing time. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what is one of the best gardening gifts that you have ever received or that you have ever given. If you enjoyed this video, I have a feeling you might also like my best hacks for free plants video. I'll link that one below, as well as I did a recent fall garden cleanup video and winter gardening that I will link for you in the cards and in the description as well. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me today. If you'd like to hang out some more and see more of me in the garden, check out my other gardening videos below and subscribe to make sure that you can see more content like this from me in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. They said Saint Nick, but you got a bit in that bag, yeah.